It's like Jahangirabad. In my hometown, Bhopal, there is a place called Jahangirabad. And we say that Jahan gira wahi abad. People are just tossed wherever they land. That's where they start growing. Jobs also, it is pretty much the same. They find their way and fend for themselves after a while. And organization only periodically takes a stock of who is available. Livestock count is not a decent word, but then that's what they do. So far, there was a convenient assumption that middle class is intelligent. Leadership thinks that, okay, they will manage. They are bright boys. They will find their way. And they have been able to find their way so far. But now we are coming to a precarious situation that if nothing is done now, probably middle class boys and girls may not be able to find their way. The conventional jobs have evaporated away. The new jobs may die out sometime. We are not prepared for any future eventuality in terms of resources. Everybody can't go back and start doing agriculture. And even if that has to be done, it has to be planned that way. Where is the plan?
Hello friends, I'm Avinash Khare, your host, and I welcome you to this series, Technocrat Talks. In this series, we will be dwelling on our blind spots, which have shackled our thinking and which have preconditioned our perceptions into a certain template. We have been suffering because of that. This we are doing through application of engineering sense and cold logic. Welcome to this analytical discussion. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Please press the bell icon to get the notifications. If you like the talk, please like it and share it with your friends, so that we increase the community of like-minded, curious minds to take the movement forward. Without much ado, let us start today's talk.
In the 2017-18 AICTE report, they recognized that capacity utilization for technical education is below 50%. What factors do you think contributed to the staggering demand-supply gap?
See, the basic problem in engineering education going haywire started way back when government started allowing private engineering colleges. Because no sooner was that allowed, a lot of private engineering colleges have mushroomed all over the place, and without any rhyme or reason, without any planning, without any empirical, feasibility, okay, and as to what was the real demand and what is the supply. And most of these were owned by political bigwigs, so nobody could stop them. So they had swanky buildings, okay. They were charging a big fee for admission. Basically, these institutions were selling aspirations to middle class boys and girls. Because middle class boys and girls, rightly or wrongly, not just them, their parents also believed that whosoever has taken mathematics in high school should become an engineer. Okay, so there was a mad rush and mad craze about going for engineering education. And it was that aspiration which was being sold. So people ran after it, they spent a lot of money, they took admissions, only to realize that where are the jobs? Because after investing so much, when they pass out, they find that there are no worthwhile jobs. And actually, on supply side, there are so many grads being churned out that industry never had that kind of appetite. So then the job itself got underrated. Then in the place where diploma holders and ITIs were taken, graduate engineers started getting filled. Just because you are able to get a BE, Tech guy, okay. And obviously the industry would pay the same salary as they were paying before. So basically the engineering qualification itself got devalued. And then the people who joined those started complaining that, look, we are getting as low as 8,000 rupees package or 12,000 rupees a month salary, which is, anybody gets much more than that without doing engineering also, right? So we started with that kind of a problem. The basic issue is that government should have intervened at some point in time. With so much of planning and foresight, there should have been something to check this phenomena. Okay. Instead of allowing it to grow on its own, just with an excuse that market wants it, so let them do it. Market would want anything. You have to have control on the market, some control on the market. Okay. Market should not drive our lives. We should drive the market. This should be the other way, right? So, yes, that is something which was missed out for whatever reasons. And the result is here to see that you have lot of graduates moving around and there are hardly any jobs. So the whole thing is that people sometimes did engineering because they wanted to print B on their wedding card. Started from there. Huh? So, and as far as quality of education is concerned, nobody was serious about it to start with. Neither the institutions nor the people who joined them for education, nor their parents. They somehow wanted a degree, which they got. Institutions wanted boys to come and take admission, so they were happy as long as that was happening. And the AICT report, which came, of course, as late as in 1819 or so. So yes, that realization came that now the engineering colleges are running half dry. But I think it is too little, too late as a realization. It should have happened 20, 30 years back when the phenomena started. And when we saw this insane growth of number of colleges everywhere. Right? At that point, somebody should have controlled it and put things in proper perspective and proper place. But then the official stand was that because these are unaided colleges, these are not running on government money, so why should government even bother about it? Right? But who is the sufferer in the end? The sufferer is middle class boys and girls who have joined those things and now they are finding that they are in lurch.
Can you discuss the impact of the proliferation of private engineering colleges on the job market for engineering graduates?
Yeah, as I said, the job market has got devalued. The value of engineering degree itself has crashed down. So it came somewhere equivalent to diploma or even ITI. So whatever esteem it carried before has crash landed somewhere. And because now industries will not pay more than that to fellows from such institutions, so they have to find alternative options. The alternative options are, of course, IT, ITES. So you forget engineering and do everything else under the sun. So as a result, the engineering has become just a stepping stone. It has no longer remained a goal. Okay. So it is just that to be safe, you do BE, Tech. After that, you look for something. And that is when actually your career thinking will start. So whether you want to do civil services or you want to do MBA or you want to go abroad, whatever. Now, those are the options which are getting explored after doing this one. So nobody is pursuing engineering. Nobody is interested in engineering as such. Neither the students, nor the teachers, nor the society, nor industry. Nobody wants it actually. So it has become nobody's baby. Okay. So yes, engineers are finding other jobs. They are doing many things after passing out engineering. Accepting engineering, they are doing everything. If you look at the job market in toto, some decades back when we used to be young, average middle class citizen from cities, particularly urban middle class, used to work in some XYZ office doing 9 to 5 job. That was the average job profile for a middle class family. Okay. But now thanks to computerization, the jobs like steno, typist, receptionist have all evaporated away. Okay. The accountant, earlier you saw so many positions used to be there. If you go to any office, you find so many people sitting on tables doing working on files, etc. Now it is no longer there. Now all those jobs which middle class were targeting at that point in time have evaporated away now. And Thankfully, coinciding with this, IT boom came. So the middle class found another avenue of migrating towards IT, which was okay. It saved us at that point in time from uh, severe crisis, actually, if I may say so. But then, how long will the party go on in IT also? One fine day, you will hear that some automated software will come which will do coding, and then the whole thing will come crashing down. And the main cause of worry is that what will middle class boys and girls do then? Because conventional jobs are no longer there. They have all gone up, they have all vanished from the scene. The jobs which are currently there now, which have sort of replaced those jobs, will also dry up sooner than later. Then where are we headed? So some long-term policy planning is required as to what will be the jobs in the coming decades, what the middle class should do in the coming decades, how they should earn their bread and butter in coming decades, and some serious policy thinking is required on that to prepare, to develop the required competencies for doing that. Okay. Otherwise, one fine morning we find that there is a surprise and our world has gone topsy-turvy and we don't know nothing about what to do forward.
What do you think are the root causes of the dismal quality of education in these engineering colleges?
Well, who is interested in education is the big question. In quality of education, say, I can understand if young boys and girls say that they came to engineering because they had interest in engineering. But sadly, that is not the fact. They don't compete in competitive exam to come to engineering college because they are interested in engineering. They come to engineering college because they want a degree and because they want to step onward from there. So it is a stopgap arrangement. For that time, that is the best option in front of them. So that's how they do. And that's what their parents also think. So parents are also not interested that you should develop interest in this particular thing. Because it's like this. If you know you are not going to allow your son to marry a girl, why he should fall in love with that girl? He should just do some chatting and move on further to the next. So that's the thought process in the back of the mind. That okay, today this is important. Today exam is important, so you study math, physics, chemistry. Tomorrow you go to engineering, you study applied mechanics, you study thermodynamics, heat engines. After that, you go to MBA, you start studying spreadsheet analysis and all those kind of things, financial management. And thereafter, whatever comes to you as a career, that is what you have to choose finally. So all these are just the milestones that you have to cross. None of them is actually the aim. That is sadly the problem. And because there is no interest from anybody, why professors would also like to spend their energy trying to teach somebody who is not interested in learning, basically. So they will also do their duty and like be done with doing some exams and exam results are over, so everything is over. So largely it happens like that. And industry also, when those who join, where is the industry also interested in basics of engineering? They are interested in somebody who will stand on the shop floor, count jobs. Okay. So as long as the person is able to do that, they are happy. So nobody has any problem with the status quo. And that is the biggest problem. Somebody should be feeling the pinch. Somebody should be feeling the problem, which is in the background. The problem is we are foregoing the competency. We are foregoing the passion that we should have. And our youngsters. Where is the youth gone? When a boy passes 10th standard, he starts talking like an adult. And by the time they come to college, वो मैदाने गंज में शहीद हो जाते हैं. Yeah. They start looking aged. They start thinking as aged person. They start talking as an old man. Where is the vigor, josh and junoon of youth? That is getting compromised. The youth is about passion. Youth is about intense interest into something, intense drive into something. Where are these things seen? Right? And intense drive and interest passion cannot be changing directions. Like one day you are interested in applied mechanics, thermodynamics, other day you are interested in financial management, third day. It doesn't happen like that. Right? You can't be changing your love so fast. Right? If you are able to do that, then it's not love, it is something else. So that's what I'm saying, that it is they are pursuing something else. They are thinking like old people, they are behaving like old people, playing safe everywhere, trying to follow the herd. Whatever everybody is doing safely, that is the path they will take. They will not take risk. They will not do adventure. Right? They will not pursue their passion. And they don't have any intensity to chase what they want. Now, all these things are telling on, eventually, wherever they join, it tells on their performance. Right? It becomes amply clear that, okay, if they are going to IT, they are going for money. But how long one can be satisfied with just a package and a money? Ultimately, day in, day out, whatever work you have to put in, if there is no interest in that, what will be the quality of that work also? So you surely can't be doing pioneering work there. Okay. You certainly will be you'll be one of the herd, which everybody is doing, you are also doing. So my advice to youngsters is follow your passion. Don't lose sight of your dream. Have a dream. And dream need not be realistic. The moment you say realistic, you are an old man. As youth, you don't have to be old man. You don't have to think like old man. Think like a young man. Have passion, have youthful vigor, have intensity, and be ready to slog, of course.
In your opinion, are graduates fresh out of college readily employable? If not, is the industry ready to invest in their training?
It's a fact that only 20% of the graduates passing out are actually employable. 80% of them are not. They are not employable. And actually, what has happened that in our education system in the past, they thought that engineering colleges should only give you the basics of everything, so that thereafter one is free to take up whatever domain he or she has to take. So those were like kind of a preparatory syllabus which will prepare you for further life. So they were not end in all. They were just a first step that, okay, we teach you all the basics and then you are on your own. So with that approach, while there was a lot of theory, there was a lot of mathematics, a lot of physics, a lot of everything academic, but there was very little practical touch on what you are supposed to do as engineer once you come in the field. Okay. And there were diverse areas, of course. A mechanical engineer can go, big range of jobs with entirely different competency requirements. So it was actually never possible for engineering colleges to focus on those competencies in great detail. So they just like touched pillars, a little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of that, and that's it. There you are. Right? Now it was incumbent on industry to groom the person as per their specific requirement. Now, industry also, there were different approaches seen. Like big companies used to have a GET scheme where they will recruit from campus en masse. Big organizations did that, and even today they are doing that. So when they recruit a person, they are not entirely clear what will be his or her job profile eventually. So they are recruited and they join as an army of some 100, 150 recruits. And HR doesn't know what to do with them. So initially they have some orientation training and something like that. After that, they are just tossed around in different assignments, rotational assignments, so to say. And rotation of 3 months or 6 months or 2 or 3 years like that, they are rotated. By the time either they quit or wherever they land, they finally land there. and then they pick up the trick of trades and start moving on from there. So as such, industry also never had a great idea of what they should do with the fresh recruits. As against that, in smaller companies, of course, the roles are clearly defined, the deliverables are clear from day one, and it is expected that the person will start performing from day one. And they try to find somebody who does not require training, who will just come and start doing it. Because probably there is nobody who can train them, and they don't have the wherewithal and resources to train them also. So that is another point. So it was always like somebody is thrown into a swimming pool, then he or she learns swimming on his own. And nobody is actually there to chart your career or make a career plan for you, that what you should be after 2 years, after 5 years, after 10 years. Okay. This is a question most popularly asked in interviews by HR guys. But the fact is that in the organization, there is nobody who is mentoring for that, or who is monitoring that, or who is planning for that. There is no such thing like that. So the fellows are taken because neither the organization is sure nor the candidate is sure how long they will stay together. So it's marriage of convenience for a short while. So they just come, they do something. If they stay around, then they are taken somewhat seriously and given some delta inputs further. Otherwise, they quit, and that's the end of it. Right? But as such, there is no planned career progression or competency development plan with HR for individuals, where you are systematically groomed into taking a particular role in the organization. So that happens by the dynamics of the organization, whatever way things turned out to be eventually. So it's like Jahangirabad. In my hometown, Bhopal, there is a place called Jahangirabad. And we say that it is called that Jahangirabad because Jahan gira wahi abad. People are just tossed wherever they land. That's where they start growing. Right? So in the jobs also, it is pretty much the same. Recruits are taken and then just tossed, and wherever they land, they find their way and fend for themselves after a while. And organization only periodically takes a stock of who is available, like head count. Okay. Livestock count is not a decent word, but then that's what they do. And then it's interim planning at that point what to do. But it happens in incremental steps. It's not a holistic thing ever.
In your opinion, has the government's focus on skill development education contributed to the betterment of traditional engineering education?
Now, the government's focus on skill development is actually on entry level. Skill development is about machinists and assembly fitters and about people, about ITI level of competences, which when they are talking of skill development. And unfortunately, the government is not doing pretty much to plan anything for the middle class. So far, there was a convenient assumption that middle class is intelligent enough, they will find their way. Anyhow, somehow, they will manage. So it is assumed, taken for granted that middle class will always find their way. So politicians and government and leadership need not plan for them. They need not worry about them. So they are just like, okay, middle class is paying all the taxes, fine. But of course, they don't give so many votes. That's another problem. But leadership thinks that, okay, they will manage. They are bright boys. They will find their way. And they have been able to find their way so far. But now we are coming to a precarious situation that if nothing is done now, probably middle class boys and girls may not be able to find their way. Because the conventional jobs have evaporated away. The new jobs, whatever jobs are currently there, may die out sometime. And we are not prepared for any future eventuality in terms of resources, in terms of, like, everybody can't go back and start doing agriculture, for sure. And even if that has to be done, it has to be planned that way. Where is the plan? Okay. So what career path do they take if this does not happen? That kind of strategic thinking, strategic planning should have been there, but it is not there. Okay. So we have left them on their own, and government is spending all their energies and resources on taking care of course, for the below poverty line cases, and which is right. I'm not saying that that is wrong. That should be done. Definitely, it should be done. But then this also has to be done at some point in time, considering that middle class is forming the backbone of your economy. Okay, they are supporting your economic infrastructure, economic structure totally. They are sustaining the country. So there should be some thinking, some planning about how they will continue to earn their bread and butter, how they will continue to live a decent life, and how en masse they will not slip below poverty line one day. Because again, then government has to spend for them. Once they come BPL, then the government has to have some scheme for them as well. So that will again put additional burden at that point in time. So it's better that government does something now itself while time is there. Okay, some planning, some forward thinking, some building of competencies, some planning of demand where these boys and girls will be absorbed, can be absorbed. That kind of forward thinking has to happen.
How can the Indian education system be restructured to better meet the needs of industry and ensure the employability of engineering graduates?
See, there has to be emphasis on internship and practical training. We do have concept of internship and vacation training, but those are not being taken very seriously. Neither the industries are supporting them in a big way, nor the institutions are following up those things in a big way. Right? Now, I would recommend something like a sandwich kind of a course, where one semester of theory followed by one semester of practical working. Now, this kind of structure, incidentally, is there in Germany. The education is aligned with the actual working of industry and of various other organizations which are there in different domains. Right? So they have to start working. I mean, earn while you learn is a kind of a catchword which is there. So we have to interlace the phase of education with this one. And what has happened ironically in India that on one end we have KG to PG. Entire education has to happen in one stretch without a break. If there is a break, people frown upon that break, why that break was there. Right? Somebody must have plugged in some class or something, that's why the break. Right? So it is not taken kindly. But then abroad, this is a normal thing. People don't pursue all their education in one stretch. Right? You phase it out. So you do phase one, after that, do something. Firm up your belief system, firm up your competencies, then go for phase two, then phase three. And so there can be a sandwich kind of a developmental process. And also in India, our people who work in industry never take sabbatical. It's not heard of. It's again frowned upon if somebody takes a break from service. Whereas abroad it is the in thing. Sabbaticals are in thing. So we have to open out our thought process and be open to both sabbaticals as well as sandwich courses, as well as break in education intermittently to recalibrate with the practical world. Yes, that is what is required. Otherwise, it is in phase. Okay, you are in education phase, you are Vidyarthi from here to here. After that, you forget all the education and you are in the new world altogether. And from here to here, you can't jump, and from there to here, you can't come back. Now, that kind of thing need not happen. Right? So once there is this kind of flexible interaction, flexi working, then automatically the things will get aligned. Otherwise, this is at one level, that is at one level. There will always be that disparity, that band gap between this and that.
What role do you think automation and technological progress will play in the future of India's job market?
Oh, oh. Automation is actually blamed for drying up of jobs from the market, because whenever there is a job cuts, it is blamed upon the automation. And actually, this charge is not wrong. Many times, under the guise of productivity improvement, the ultimate aim is to reduce the number of jobs only. So automation is done to cut jobs, and that is why the reputation has become like that. But it need not be so. It need not be so. You see, nowadays there are big buzzwords like Industry 4. Okay. Now, Industry 4 advocates automation, total automation. But beyond Industry 4, there is a talk of Industry 5. And Industry 5 says that everything should have human touch. It's not extension of Industry 4. It is quite the opposite, actually, if you ask me. But the thought process is a little different in Industry 5. They say that we need this kind of thing because all the premium products that you see, they are using human creativity and human adaptivity and ingenuity. Right? Now, if you talk about mass-produced item, which is made by machines totally with total automation, you have something like Parle-G biscuit, okay, which is good but which is cheap. It's meant for mass consumption. Okay, but then people buy premium butter cookies which are handmade, and that is costing much more than this one. But there is a market for that. All the premium wines, all the premium cakes, they are handmade. Would you go to a restaurant where you are told that chef is a robot? Mostly you will not. Okay. So we require human creativity, human ingenuity. And whatever AI ML may do, you cannot have a software or a machine which is writing poetry or doing shero shairi with the kind of contextual linkage that a human shair would do. Right? Through AI, you can't crack a right joke at the right time. Right? So there are limitations. So somewhere you require human creativity, human dexterity, hand movements, fineness of hand movement, touch and feel. Now all those things are also coming. So the next industrial movement that is there on the horizon is contemplating together, working together of man and machine. So far, we have been learning how to program a machine, how to use a CNC machine, how to program a robot. So in other words, human beings are adapting to the machine. In the process, we are becoming like a machine also. But the future is machine should adapt to us. Why we should adapt to machines? So machine should adapt to human vagaries. So if, let us say, on an assembly line, we have robots working together with human operator. Human operator is not expected to give a command through a remote or typing a cryptic code, nothing. Robo has to understand, depending on from which region the person is. If he says IIO or Lahol Vilakuvat, Robo should understand why this phrase was uttered and what is meant by that and what the Robo should do to correct whatever has gone wrong. Now, that is the future, where machines shall adapt to human, but it is given, it is for granted that machines will have to work together with human beings, with human vagaries. So, the jobs are not going to go. There will be humans and there will be machines. There will be automation plus there will be manpower. So, I would not say that in future the automation will take away all the jobs. The nature of jobs would change. The nature of human beings may change. The nature of machines may change. But there is going to be a coexistence.
Do you believe that the push for startups is a viable solution for the employability crisis faced by the urban middle class?
Startups are a convenient slogan for government, I would say, because formerly they were having so many employees who were being given pension, who were being given assurance for their life that they will be earning and they need not worry about their bread and butter. Okay, as long as they did their 9 to 5 jobs, their bread and butter was ensured, certain level of living was ensured, medical coverage was there, all those facilities were guaranteed. Now, gradually, as the number of jobs is dwindling in government side and in the large employers, I would say public sector and big corporates, since the number of jobs there is reducing, now the assurance part has gone. You go to smaller companies, IT companies, where pink slips rain. Whenever season comes, there is a rain of pink slips, right? So that certainty part has gone, the assurance part has gone. And we still do not have a social security scheme in place, right? So it is putting additional tension, burden, fear in the minds of middle class, the fear of survival, the fear of what the future would be, right? Now, when government says that, okay, startups should come, startup means what? You invest your forefathers' money, your family money into a business, and yet there is no assurance that it will succeed. So the risk is all yours. Nobody is covering your risk. Banks are not covering your risk. Okay, they are not giving you a loan without security. So that side is playing safe. So all the uncertainties, all the risk has been put in your basket. As an idea, it does not appeal. But yes, startups should be there, and they should be there in a big way. They should proliferate, because that is the only way that technical minds will come into the actual field, and you will see techno CEOs who will transform the landscape. Okay. So one side, yes, it is required. I'm not saying that it is not required. It's very much required. But the way it is being handled so far, it does not inspire confidence. All the risk is yours, all the tax is mine. When that kind of approach, I mean, it is not doing justice to the middle class. That's all I can say.
Well, with this, we have come to the end of today's talk. Please take this movement forward. Please share it with your friends. Open Mind is an engineer's workshop, and our goal is to engineer our future. Please press the bell icon to get further notifications. Please like if you have liked the talk, and please do let us have your feedback, your ideas, your comments, your suggestions. Hope to see you in the next talk, Technocrat Talks. Till then, be happy, enjoy. See you next time. Bye-bye.